to my YouTube channel, Ultimate Knife Search. Today I am excited, guys. This video here will be the one I have, looking forward to the mostly. You will not get anything more Viking-ish in this video here, I promise you guys. This is the top end when you talk about knives and Viking spirit and soul. And as I don't know if you have seen my shorts video, but this is about this Viking Hybrid here, nicknamed the Raven. And I can't wait to show you this knife here, guys. This is awesome. There have been so many hours of thoughts and history in this knife here, how the drawing are made, colors, shapes or anything. And I really hope you will stay with me for the last minutes, because I really want to tell you why the knife is looked like this and shaped like this, and the color and all the things. Because this is not something I come up with. This is a true story who has lived for hundreds of years. Only 20 kilometers from where I live, guys. So I really hope you will stay on. First, if you have followed my channel, you know I send some drawings to the cookery house, and I make this knife here, the Viking Warrior. It's been about a year now, and this knife here is in many of my videos, and there also a review on it, and I have made a video on how it becomes like this. I want to, I want to make a knife who was a little bit more, Vikings, the more spirit on it, more like to pay homage to the Vikings, because I am a pure blood Viking. They are Viking all over me all the time. So I want to make a knife who should be, perfect in all situations. This was also the case with this knife here, but I want a knife who had, this is a 8-inch blade. I make the other knife, the Viking Hybrid. I make it a 9-inch blade, and I want it to be a little bit lighter. This knife here is over 600 grams. This knife here is only 580 grams with an 8mm thick spine, guys. This is awesome. Yes, this is the first gen, if you can say so, and this is the second gen of my design with my Viking series, if you can say so. Yes, let's go on. For the size of the knife, I got my inspiration from my old BK9, because I think this size here is the one thing you can carry, and it has some good chopping ability, and is easy and nimble, and it has a good size. So that's why I use my BK9 as, a size for the knife. Yes, I made cookery house make it. I make a cookery house make 2 of them. The other knife I sent to Pistol Pete. Go check his channel out. Also Pistol Pete, of course. I can make a link down in the description. He got the other knife because I want him to the meaning of it. I tried to send this knife to him 2 or 3 times, but it come back because of the customs. So I want to send another knife to him, so I make cookery house make 2 of these knife here, and the other one is going to Pistol Pete. He will make his review on it when I have done this review here, and he will send it past to D-Bat and maybe Scap or Joe from Steel's Force and Fire to try this knife out, because I really want, I really want those guys to have a real Viking knife in their hands, with the all heart and spirit I have put into it. So yes, let's take a look on it. The sheet here, cookery house, I make them to make this sheet here. So it will not be so big. And my other Viking knife I have make a kydex on, but I will never do that on this knife here, because it has to be in a leather sheet, I think. So this is an awesome, beautiful sheet they have made there. Yes, let's take a look on the knife, guys. Oh, I can't wait to show you. Wow! Let's take a drive-by, if you can say so. Look at it, guys. It is so beautiful. And you can see there is a ring here. Now you already think this is a big knife for a karambit ring. But this is not a ring for the karambit style, because this knife here is too heavy to wield around like a karambit. This has another purpose, and I will tell you a little bit about that in a minute. And I will, if you can see the tip there on the BK9, and you can see the tip on this knife, I really hope you can see it there, because I can promise you guys, this spine here is 8 millimeters thick on the Viking Hybrid, nicknamed the Raven. From now on I will only call this the Raven, and you can, I will tell you a minute also why that. But first, guys, and this is very important for me, so that's, I really hope you stay on to listen to this. For it's about, I think now is 15 years ago, they found, no, not 15 years ago, 50 years ago, 40 years ago, they found a old Viking village up here who is almost intact. The museum, I can say the grave up this village there, and they were out there for, I think, about 2 years, because this was normally when you found something here in Denmark who is a Viking a grave or something, they normally is a size on a small football place. But this here was very big. This is one of the biggest Viking villages they have ever found here in Denmark. And almost all the weapons and all the graves and all the houses were intact, because the fundamental on the grave and the village was not dirt. It was something, I don't know what you call it, but we call it a calc. This is the white dirt. So all the things, the grave or something, were intact. There was something that goes on from every knife or sword they found. This has this ring on it. And the museum people was, because of they have some different theories why this ring are on all the swords and weapons, and also the axes has this ring here on the end. But in one of the grave they found a shield. They think that has maybe been the Viking chief or the Viking king, or call him what you want. He have a big shield, almost the same size as himself, and there was a big, what can you say, not a painting on the shield, but they have engraved in the shield the person of Odin. And we all know Odin only have one eye, so they came up with, and I think that is true, at all the swords, axes, knives, weapon, all of them was to pay glory and honor to Odin. That was, they make this to look like an eye. So you can say all the axes and knife and swords, they have this hole here in the ring on the end to symbolize Odin's one eye. And we know in this end of the country here, they were extremely believe in the Nordics gods. So I really think that that is awesome. So that's why I make this ring here on this knife here to pay homage to this thing and show my honor to my grandfathers and all the way back to the Vikings, to make this ring there to symbolize Odin's one eye. And I think that is something, just to talk about it, I get touched, because I really, really think that is awesome. Yes, that was a little bit historic about this ring here. This ring can also be used for something, and I will show you later in the review what you can use this ring for. This is not just only for looks, but you can use it for anything else. I have seen pictures. I have tried to find some pictures on the internet, and I know a guy who he was with the people who graved this Viking village up, but he because there are some national treasure rules here, so he cannot show me a picture of the knife. But I have a little idea that something like this would have looked like the Viking knives. Yes, this was a little bit of the history of this ring there, guys. And there are something more. I make this black because we all know that on Odin's shoulders there sits two raven, Hugin and Munin, on his shoulders. The raven symbolize he every morning send his raven out, and when the evening come, the raven come back and tell Odin what's going on in the Godlands, but also here on the earth, if you can say so. So the symbolize of the raven is very, very strong here in the Nordic. And guys, I will try if I can show you. Maybe it's easier if I do something like that. You can see my design here. This hole here is of course a lashing point, but when I make the drawing of this knife here, I want to make, if you can imagine, try to imagine, guys, this is the head of the raven here. I hope you can imagine that. I will leave a picture up here of a raven, so you can maybe compare. You can see this is of course a knife, and I have to make the knife the head of the raven. So you can see when you do like this, this is the mouth, I don't know what you call it. This is the mouth of the raven and the head here, and you got the eye here of the raven. Maybe it's easier over here. So, but this is also why this is black here, and that's also why I have made the handle black. So, yes, and that's why I call this knife here the Viking Hybrid, because it is a mixture between something really, really old and with some really, really new things in many ways, because this is hand forged by a cement floor in Nepal with on the cookery house, who have hammered this knife out in the old way. So, but you can say with some new techniques of drawing, of course, I have used to make this knife here to get the balance. You can see the spine there is tapered down, and I love also when this Viking warrior here, I have make the weight centered here, because I like the feel when you have the weight in your hands. Yes, that was a little bit history about the drawing and me making this knife here. This is, I cannot say this is the best knife I have, but if you think about me as a Viking, and if you think about history and thoughts about this knife here, this is my number one knife I have now. This is so meaningful to me, because this is a badass history. I cannot. This is not get more Viking in this. Yes. Okay, that was the history. Now I will tell you a little bit quickly about the knife. You can see it has a 9-inch blade if you compare to the BK9. So it's the same length of blade, and it has a little bit longer handle and as the BK9. Sorry guys. It has an 8 millimeters thick spine. And I know there are edges here, I will come back to that. And you can see the important for me was to make a big fat tip that will not break at anything. So it is tapered down, and I have, I think I made 30 different handles to this knife here to get something who is perfect for me. And I will say, guys, this handle here, when you squeeze it, I have, as I have mentioned in all my videos, big monster hands but slim fingers. So this handle here fit me perfect. And I also hope, I know Pistol Pete have a big hand, I hope it will fit his hand also. So, and this handle here, you can see it is shaped like this. It go down here and it go up and curve a little bit down. And the other side here, when you meet the ring here, is made like this. If you squeeze this handle here, it will go nowhere because you have a hook here in the back. And of course this big ricasso here I have made. And of course there are no choils on a Viking knife. It's not, you cannot use a choil for anything in this purpose here. You can hold it like this and you will have a perfect edge there to do some fine work. And the chopping power of it, this is the meaning. You will hold it a little bit back here. You can put your little finger in the ring when you chop with it, because when you chop, you can, what can you say, the knife cannot slip out of your hands and you can chop easy without squeezing the handle. You can just let it lay lazy in your hand when you chop, so there's no risk of this this knife here will go anywhere if you have your little finger in this ring when you chop with it. Yes, the material on this knife here is my favorite steel, 5160, and the, what can you say, the handle is a G10, black G10 material, and I choose bronze pins because again I want to pay homage to the Vikings. They also use bronze pins on their swords and knives and axes. And look in this beautiful blade here. I make the edge. I could have taken the edge begin to thin out up here, but this knife here shall not be a knife who I can cut paper with all day or shave my beard with. This is not the purpose. The purpose for this knife here is to be unbreakable for what I use my knife for. So I make this, you can say it has a small convex edge here. This is a convex edge here, and this is not so high. And you can say when you have a big fat edge, you cannot get a razor sharp, but it can cut papers, guys. But you have an edge who will not break because this is so fat. So you can say why I have this edge up here, because I'll do like this. Because normally when you have a secondary edge, you can say you have the edge here with the tip because you have a little bit better piercing power. But this knife here, trust me guys, will have enough piercing power also with this tip there. So I should, of course, I make the knife for what I use the knife for, and that's also why I call it a hybrid knife, because I use it for hiking, I use it for camping, I use it for survival, I use it when I travel around and grab all knife. I will take this knife if I have to go to war tomorrow. I will grab this knife here. So to survive with it, I use my knife a lot for betoning. I beton every time I am in the woods and have to make a fire. I beton with my knife. Do I have to do that? Not, but I like it. So that's why I do it. So that's why I have made this secondary edge up here and not here. So you have a big fat spine there to hammer on when I beton to something, so I will not ruin my beton stick. So that's why this is there. So you can say now, what is this edge up here for? This edge here is for this is not, what can you say, I make the cookery house, make this 95% sharp. I have tried a little bit, I can go through paper with this, but this is not, you can cut with it, there's no problem. But this is not so sharp as the edge down here, because I want this edge to be a little bit stronger. So this edge here is for anything, everything you don't want to use your normal edge for. So you can say, if I have to open a metal can, I will use this edge there. And I have also made the knife so it's not just fit to hold it like this, but I can also hold it like this and use this for hammering and open something with this edge there. So I also have a good grip on it when the knife is turned around. So again, you can say this edge up here is for anything, everything I think it calls. I don't want to use my primary edge for. If I should have to open a coconut, I will not use this edge there. I will use this edge up here, or maybe the end of the knife here. So this is for everything you want to use a secondary edge for, to spare your normal edge, if you can say so. If I also get into something who are hard, as I have mentioned here, a metal can or coconut, or if you have to make a fire when you I can't remember what they call it up in the big, I think they call it the pine or something. When you have to make a fire, they are very hard. You can use this edge for that. So yes, everything you don't want to use your primary edge for, you can use this edge for. And when I are in the camp, I will also show you that today in the review. I many times set my knife in the stump, and if I have to cut something quickly, a rope or something, I can use this edge here. I know you can also set the knife like this, and you can just use this edge. But I think this is funny. I have made this secondary edge here up here, and of course also a little bit to make the knife have this raven head feel to it. So if you can say, as I showed you before, the eye, and you have the nose on the raven head there, so you have this mouth and this mouth down here. Yes, this was a little bit about this knife here, the history about it, and why I have made it shaped like this, and to pay glory and honor to the Vikings here in my ancestors, to them. So that's why this knife is shaped like this. And I can tell you something more, guys. This is awesome. It is easy to hold. It feels nimble, and it feels fast. And if you just see on the knife, guys, this is a stabber. You can stab anything with this knife and hunt with it. And I'll also show you that today. The important thing for me when the cookery house made this, and that was something I was really what can you say, not questioned about, but I was afraid that, because I am one of the few guys in the whole world who like the mass here in the middle of the knives. So that was important for me, that they could make the thickness of the knife and spine there and keep it going down there. And to get the balance in the knife, I could just tell them what I mean, but they have really nailed it when they has tapered this handle down. And I have seen that many times at the cookery house. They are very good to make something like that, because that's the only thing they do. They make knife all day long. And I have made the jimping up there also. I hope you can see it. Can you see it? There, yes, the jimping there. This is a little bit aggressive, but this is not, what can I say, it's a soft when you touch with it, but it is a little bit aggressive to look on. And that's also a thing I want to, what can I say, only us, just because to hold it like this, you have a really good control and grip over the knife. But also I want this to make the back of the head of, we can say the top of the head of the raven to look a little bit like, if you can say, feathers. I hope this will give you meaning, guys. This is very important to me, that this knife here looks like the raven's head. So this is also why I have made this jimping. Not just for looks, but also to use. Yes, let's go out, guys, and beat the snot out of this knife here, because I know this can hold up for anything, and I will really like to show you that, like I have shown you as a Viking warrior. I beton halfway to a fry pan with this knife here, and I will really beat on this knife here also to show you that this is the top of my knife in my collection, because the history on it, and also because I think it's a really awesome thing. And I know I try to hold myself down all the time, because what can I say, when you create something yourself, you don't want to be cocky to listen at, and you don't want to listen to, oh, I am the top of the world. But I am not a guy who, what can you say, I am not, what can you say, give myself credit too much. But this one here, I really think I nail it, because I really are in love with the Vikings things. So I have really put some thoughts on it, and I really hope you can see it. So if you are a Viking also, or want to be a Viking, or you just like the Viking things, if you really want something with a true story behind it, with this ring here, who's symbolizing Odin's eye, and have the shape of the raven head, Hugin and Munin on Odin's shoulders, his two ravens, and the shape of it, and the size and weight and anything. If you get this knife here, I know already now, you can contact Cookery House and ask for Ray, and he will know what the Viking Hybrid is. Yes, I have told you it's called Viking Hybrid, but the nickname is Raven, and I will call it that from now, the Raven. So yes, let's go out and see if this knife with this history team here can do anything. So see you out there, guys. Yes, guys. If you are in a fireplace and you want to make some meat or anything on a stick, and that's another thing you can use this ring for. You can hammer it in here in a stump, and you got a good anchor point there, and you put this one in, put the meat on, or bread, or what else you want to have over the fire here, and you can sit totally relaxed here and use it over the camp. You can put it into the fire and let it out, and you can sit it there and you can go away from it. So that's something you can use a ring for also. I know you can make you can take a wood and hammer in and do the same thing, but why not look at the knife at the same time? You're making some food over the fire. That's awesome. You can look at the knife and make fire. That's that must be heaven, guys. So that's awesome. Yes, guys, this was a little bit testing of this Viking Hybrid, and I will of course show you it can throw some sparks from a fire steel. So if you want to, I have to hit it correctly here, guys. There you go. If you want to make a fire, and I could not think of a better place to be in the whole world and to look into you guys through Odin's eye on this knife here. And of all this abuse now, I have stepped to the fry pan. You can see the holes there, and I have betoned halfway to this fry pan here, and I The knife is still sharp. It cut like ease with no problems. And I really think that this is an awesome knife. I know I hate people who are who are riding on the sky of themselves, but that's because this knife here meaning so much to me. This is my #1 knife. I am really all up over the sky. I'm almost up to Valhalla because this knife here is so awesome. The look of it, the size of it, the 580 grams of knife, who are still 8mm thick spine. I tip test this guys for you at the fry pan and also in the wood. I tip a prey bar all the way to the wood. I throw this as a throwing knife, throw it as a spear. I hammered in a stump to stand on it. I'm 125 kilos guys. I have made this ring flat here. So for two things, because you can hammer on it, and also I want it to look like an eye, so you can say this is an eyebrow. If you think of Odin's eye, you have the eyebrow here and the eye here. So, and I must say guys, the cookery house at Nepal does a phenomenal job. If you want something like this, contact Cookery House and ask for Ray. He will know when you mention the Viking Hybrid knife. He will know what you are talking about. I will say, if there are something I will maybe have done different on this knife here, because I am also a self-critical guy, not just because I am making something. I think this is the most perfect thing in the whole world. Maybe, but just maybe, I would have not made this edge here, maybe a full flat spine down. But you can use this for different things, as I mentioned in the intro, to cook coconuts or all the things you won't use this edge for. You can use this edge for. So I will do that when I am in the camp and I have to do something. And as you have seen when I throw this as a spear, I have made the lashing point here. This is also the eye of the raven, and you can lashing point through here as I show you in the video. You have a perfect spear, and with the weight and how this is shaped, you can hunt anything with this knife, or just do it for fun if you want to. So I am all over the sky guys. This knife here, not this knife, but one similar, are going to Pistol Pete, as I mentioned in the intro, and he will send it to D-Bat and Scab and so on. And I really hope they will see this video here before they test it, not just because of the testing of it, but the history behind this knife here. And I hope they will take that to them when they, what can you say, review the knife. Of course, they can beat on the knife all they want, and they can do anything they want with it. But the knife is to Pistol Pete. It's his knife, so he's also decided a little bit over the knife. I am blown away, guys. In this review here, I talk so much about the knife that I had to put the video up beside me, because this video here will have taken over an hour if I had done do this. So that's why I am doing like this. But come on guys, you will not get anything more brutal than this. I love it. I am in love. I can't wait. I have a hiking trip here on the Sunday. I can't wait to get this knife out and use it. And I will make a campfire and use it like I show you. We'll put some stick through it, and I will make some meat or bread or anything over the fire when I look to the knife at the same time. This 5160 steel here is awesome, and I really love it, but you have to take care of it to prevent rust. This black section here will not rust so easy as the polish, but you have to take care of it. And sorry guys, I can't get enough of this shape here. This is an awesome shape, and somehow that's also why I came up with the hybrid name, because there's some modern look to it and also some old look to it. So you have combined these two things. It's a really, really awesome. So I really hope you're enjoying this video here. This is the most important video for me I have ever made. Not because only this is my second generation of design in my Viking series, but mostly because the meaning of it and my as I told you in the intro there, 20 kilometers from me, was this big Viking village there who have this knife, who have this ring over it, and they make this symbol on the knife axis and swords, because this is the eye of Odin. So that's awesome. Yes, this Viking here will sign out, and I only have one thing more to say. Don't go hiking. Go hiking!